thought today we would do something a little bit different. We are going to do a questionnaire, a this or that. Would I prefer this or would I prefer that? Just to kind of let you guys know a little more about me, and I thought it would be fun because sometimes you can do all the frugal content in the world and it's just sometimes interesting to change it up just a little bit and lighten the mood. Now, if you're not interested in getting to know me a little bit more, then okay, just move on to the next video where I give you some more ideas about saving money and living a simple life. If you're interested in what's on my lap, this is Howie. He's going to go back to sleep now, but he's very cozy. You can sit down. You want to hang out? This or that. So, do I prefer appetizers or desserts? I prefer appetizers because by the time you get to dessert, you're pretty much full. Appetizers just seem more exciting because you're super duper hungry. And I like dessert, but I really just like chocolate. And I can pretty much eat chocolate anytime, right? So appetizers, that's what I prefer. Netflix or YouTube? And I have all these written on a piece of paper. Netflix or YouTube? I prefer YouTube. I consume a lot of YouTube. Now I do like Netflix. Sometimes I like it for background noise. I will watch a series over and over and over again. For instance, The Crown. I have watched that series probably 6 times. Scandal. I have probably watched that series 10 times. And just on and on. What are some good Netflix series that you guys think I should watch? Also, I love Netflix documentaries. What documentaries are on Netflix right now that I need to watch? Put those down in the comments below. So, what's next? Quality or quantity? Well, I think we all know that I prefer quality over quantity because I tend to be more on the minimal side. I don't like a lot of stuff because seeing a lot of stuff is back in my 20s, it was more about quantity than it was quality. Now it's quality. Audiobook or podcast? I prefer audiobook. More recently, I have gotten back into fiction. For years, I was reading nothing but nonfiction. But what I don't know if you guys are beginning to see this, but with a lot of the self-improvement, self-help, do these things to change your life, this technique will do, it's almost like everything is starting to sound the same. I like books that, that talk about real life scenarios to give you guys, to show you more something in action would be the way to say it. That's why I like this, the way I talk to you guys. I have the experience of being in debt and then not being in debt and being frugal and then not being frugal and then going back to being frugal. So I'm able to give you real life examples versus somebody who's just pulling this information out of their rear end and never experienced anything. I say that because, again, I think people have oversaturated the self-improvement market and it's the same stuff over and over. Are you guys seeing that too? So I am going into back into fiction. And I remember one video I made and a comment from somebody who posted on it. I made a video talking about how I think something about, reading nonfiction books will teach you a lot. And the person said fiction books teach you a lot as well. And I completely agree. And even if your comments to me on my videos say something different from what I say, I still like to listen and read it because you open my eyes. You are coming at it from a different point of view, and I think that's how we learn. So for that person to say fiction teaches you a lot as well, I completely agree, and I hadn't actually thought about that. So I'm into this book series right now that I'm so enjoying, getting to the point. I prefer audiobooks over podcasts. I do like podcasts, but again, what I'm sensing, what I'm seeing is the same kind of stuff repeated over and over and over. And it's getting on my nerves, if that makes sense at all. Do I prefer dancing or do I prefer singing? I am not good at either of those, but I would definitely prefer singing. Dancing requires too much activity, and if I'm going to do something activity-wise, I'm going to do something productive. Are you going to get down now? Do you want to go over there and sit? Where are you going? Go ahead. Dogs like to change their mind, don't they? Anyway, I would prefer singing. I love just driving, blasting some Whitney Houston. Do you want to dance with somebody? And just belting it out. Some Van Morrison, Brown Eyed Girl. Yep. Love just singing it with those songs. What's the next one? Reading or TV series? Definitely reading. Now with reading, I can only read a book once. With a TV series, I can watch it over and over and over again. But I definitely prefer reading. Because with a TV series, what I see myself doing though is I multitask. I can't just sit and watch a show. I have to do multiple things. With reading, I'm able to sit, and you can't really do anything else while you're reading if you want to realize what you're reading, and you just kind of become absorbed in the book. You become absorbed in the story. My mind starts picturing certain things. Going to bed early or sleeping in? Definitely going to bed early. But prior to my child, sleeping in. So which one's better? For me, going to bed early. And I go to bed probably about 8 o'clock, and I get up at probably on an average of about 5:30 every day. Now, when the first couple of years of having a child, adjusting to getting up that early was difficult. Before, I would sleep in till 9, 10 o'clock, but half of my day was gone. And I think the most productive part of your day is the first part of your day. Because you only have, a certain amount of energy to get you through the day. So I personally think going to bed early is better, and getting up and getting it done. And a lot of the videos you'll see on YouTube, I get up at 4:30 every day, or I get up at 5 a.m. every day for a month. What you'll hear them say is they didn't realize how much they could get done before 9 o'clock. So definitely prefer going to bed early and getting up early. Mindful walking or yoga? I prefer yoga, and I specifically prefer yin yoga. And if you're not familiar, yin yoga is where you hold a pose for about 3 to 5 minutes typically, but if you do a shorter yin yoga series, it's about 2 minutes. So what I like about yin yoga is that I can get in a certain stretch, and the longer you're in that stretch, what you'll feel your muscles releasing. And it's just, there's something about mindful yoga that is just relaxing. And I think yoga in teachings, it's not really more about an exercise. It's more about a spirituality, about a relaxing, about a slowing down. So definitely I prefer yoga. Drinking coffee or drinking tea? Well, I prefer to drink tea out of my Yeti. If you haven't read, no, I don't write anything. If you haven't listened to my other videos, I do not like coffee. I do not even like the smell of coffee. I have had coffee people try to make me a coffee that they think that I will like, and it's disgusting. No offense to you if you like coffee. Oftentimes when I'm super tired, I wish that I actually did like coffee so it would wake me up. But I just don't. My husband doesn't either. We don't even own a coffee maker. I think we have one regular coffee mug that we use for hot chocolate, or like those mug cakes for my daughter, she loves. And we have the coffee mugs that came with our wedding china, but that's it. If you want coffee and you're coming to my house, you may as well pick it up on the way here. The next one is laptop or tablet. I definitely prefer a laptop. I like the physical keys. I think that later on in life, when did the first iPhone come out? Was it 2007? We are going to experience the biggest carpal tunnel, trigger finger outbreak, I think, of the modern age because of using our fingers so much. So I would prefer to distribute my use of my fingers to a keyboard versus a tablet. TikTok or Instagram? Neither. So I am not on any social media other than the YouTube, which to me, YouTube, obviously there's a lot of, the drama is still on there as well, but I learn a lot from YouTube, and you can still be entertained on YouTube. The thing that I found about Instagram was you would just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and comparing yourself to other people. I was on TikTok for like a hot second, and that one is definitely made to pull you in and you not realize the time that you are spending on it. The rabbit hole that you could go on and the amount of time you could be sucked in before you come up for air and realize how long you've been holding your breath is insane. So I prefer neither, because neither are productive to me. Ball drop or fireworks. This is obviously about New Year's Eve. I think that I prefer fireworks. Although I really don't like fireworks. They're pretty. So what is my thing? The ball drop, it's a ball drop thing. Big darn deal. Fireworks are beautiful. Yes, but they are, they're not good for the environment, and they're worse for animals. I am an animal lover, and honestly, what do you think that deer, squirrels, what else is out in the woods in the country? Possums, owls, birds, dogs. What do you think they do when they hear fireworks? On New Year's Eve, or, here in America, we celebrate 4th of July with fireworks. They flip out. They don't know what to do. They don't know what it is. Especially deer. They're so skittish as it is that when they hear a firework, imagine the scared feeling that they feel when they hear that kind of a thing. I hear a lot of dogs who get loose during these things, during fireworks, probably and possibly run over because they're just so scared. I've had a dog that was so afraid, so terrified. Just would shake. The bed would vibrate with her because she was afraid of even thunder, let alone fireworks. So I prefer neither, but I do think fireworks are pretty because they're pretty. Young at heart or old soul? I think my daughter is an old soul. I can't really tell if I am an old soul or young at heart. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe an old soul. Probably more along those lines, because I'm so interested in older times, in history, in especially like the Elizabethan age, the Victorian age, and then also in the Great Depression. I am so interested in those times. So maybe I am an old soul. Hair up or hair down? Definitely hair up. The only time you will see my hair down, meaning not pinned back, is on videos. Or if I'm out at a special meeting or something. I cannot stand hair in my face. I'm almost close back to the ponytail length, which is kind of unfortunate because I will then put my hair in a ponytail all the time. I have always been this way. I've always worn my hair either half up, or I remember in school I would wear like a headband, which gave me a headache. And I've actually recently saw myself projecting that onto my daughter. I'll say, don't you want to put your hair up, or don't you want to put up your hair in a ponytail or a bow to get it out of your face? And she'll say no. And I thought about it and I went, no, let me step back and say, not project that onto her, because I see people all the time who leave their hair down and it's so pretty down. But it always has gotten on my nerves. So definitely hair up. Leader or follower? I am definitely a leader. I was the person in school that if assigned a school project, I would just say, hey guys, I got this. The team project where you've got 2 or 3 people. I got this. I'll do it. I'll bring it back. Yeah, I didn't trust other people to do my work, and I still am very much that way. I have a very hard time delegating others anything that I need help with, because I trust myself. It's not that I don't trust others, but I would rather do something myself, and I don't know, maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's not, but I'm definitely not a follower. I am a free thinker, a free spirit. I think outside the box. Oftentimes, if you want to tell me, give me an opinion or a story or, news, I will also sit back and go, maybe not, and think about what the actual truth might be behind it. So yeah, definitely not a follower. Mac or Windows? Definitely Windows. I don't have the slightest clue how to use Apple anything. Even an old Apple phone, I don't get it. I think there's two types of people. There's Apple people and there's Android people. And Android people think that Apple's phones or Apple stuff is hard to use. And Apple people think that Android stuff is hard to use. Do you agree? I mean, I've always had like a Samsung Galaxy. I've had 3 of those. And I prefer the Android. And then also as far as like computer, I don't have the slightest clue about Apple. And so I would prefer, Windows all day long. Face masks or doing nails. Now, face masks meaning, the facial ones that you put on your face to make it, the peels, or the face mask you put on at night, that type of face mask, or doing nails. I think that I prefer face masks. For me, I think that I have oily nails because whenever I get like a nail polish or a gel manicure, it does not ever last longer than a week. So I'm assuming it's because I have oily nails. Regular nail polish lasts a couple of days. As far as face masks, I really do enjoy them. Now, I don't use them often, ever, hardly, but I do like a good facial, and I had a hydrofacial probably 2 years ago. Oh my goodness, I have never glowed so much. It was like the moon. That was great. So if I can get the occasional facial, I love that. But yeah, a good mask is what I prefer. Pizza or pasta? I definitely prefer pasta. However, if you don't know my story, back probably in January of 2020, I went in with a challenge that my husband's office was doing and became vegetarian. So, which was not difficult for me because I don't like meat as it is. The meat that I did like was bad for you meat. I'm talking hot dogs, bacon, pepperoni, all the bad stuff, right? So it really wasn't difficult. And then in about July of 2020, I went vegan. And I had always had trouble with my stomach. Always have. And I'd always wondered why. Nobody could ever really figure it out. I mean, I literally have had tests. I've had 2 colonoscopies, which are not fun. In my 20s, by the way. And I couldn't figure out what it was. So I went plant-based, and immediately, I think I have some sort of intolerance to dairy product. Because if you don't know, going from vegetarian to plant-based, it just means vegetarians typically still eat eggs and milk product, and then dairy product, and then vegan or plant-based will exclude those. Now, I'm about 95% vegan. There is an occasional time where, something slips in here or there that's dairy related, not meat. I haven't eaten meat in a year and a half, which is amazing. Now, getting back to the point of whether I prefer pizza or pasta. Pasta is my jam. That I love. Now, as far as pizza, one of the biggest cravings, I don't have a lot of cravings since becoming vegetarian, but one of the biggest cravings that I have had is a pepperoni pan pizza from Pizza Hut. With the crispy edge that's, a little bubbled up at the crispy edge, the big dough, and the cheese, and my mouth is legit watering right now. But I know if I ate that, no, it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be a good thing. But that is the one craving I have had, is a piece of pizza. But the after effects are not worth the momentary pleasure. Beach or mountains? I think that I prefer the beach, honestly. There's something like a serenity about the beach, the salt water, in the air when you get close to it. In the Carolinas, which is where I live, we have both. We have the mountains a couple hours away, and then we have the beach about 3 to 4 hours away. But I think I definitely prefer the beach. Although, oddly, I do not like sand. Sand gets in all kinds of places that it just shouldn't go. Shop in-store or online? Well, I think I prefer online. However, you can't, sometimes you need to be in person with something to really see what it's like, right? To feel the quality of it, to try it on if you can. But this past year has really changed things. I think a lot of everything was going more online anyway, but this past year has really changed it. Even if you go into a store nowadays, if you guys can tell me what you think, if you go into a store nowadays, the past 6 months, I've noticed there's not a lot there, even for the holidays, like for Christmas, for Easter, for Halloween and Thanksgiving. The amount of stuff that places like TJ Maxx and Marshalls used to have in home goods out, which I don't go and get anyway, but I remember during Christmas looking for some new ornaments. The stock was so low, which we know now obviously is from production that was slowed down or stopped, and then also just stores not purchasing as much because maybe the sales wouldn't be as much, or they didn't have as much money to purchase ahead. So I think that everything is definitely more shipping or changing to online shopping even more, which that's why I think the thing where I've done a video on Amazon Prime wardrobe, where you can select things to be shipped to you and you're not charged for them until you choose from those items, and then you can ship them back. I feel like a lot more places need to go to that whole free shipping and free returns, because that is really where they're going to survive if they don't do that. Because people don't want to just shell out money here or there if they don't like what it is that they receive. So I think we need to make improvements to online shopping. I do think I prefer online shopping. And one of my key things, my favorite tips for you is, especially I do this for kids' clothes. At the end of the season, I'll go on to like a department store website and I'll search for my daughter's size, the next size up, right? And I'll go to clearance items, and I will be able to find some great things for super, super inexpensive. Whereas going to a store and looking through a clearance rack, I would rather have a root canal. Winter or summer? I definitely prefer winter. And I have actually really strong logic here. The reason I like winter is when you're cold, you can put a lot of clothes on. When you're hot, you can only take so many off before it gets inappropriate. I also prefer winter because I like it when it gets dark earlier. And here it gets dark earlier in the winter because of the time change. And then in the summer, it stays dark or stays light later. Well, I go to bed early and I get up early. So I like for it to be dark when I go to bed. It's my preference. So that is why I prefer winter. Vanilla or chocolate? I think it depends. So it depends on, so ice cream, I don't eat ice cream anymore as far as dairy ice cream. I eat oat ice cream, and chocolate is delicious. I like chocolate anyway. I am not a big dessert person unless it's chocolate. If it's chocolate, I am all about that life, especially dark chocolate. But as far as vanilla, if you can give me some good vanilla, like oat ice cream with some hot fudge on top of it, oh goodness. A hot fudge sundae, when I did eat dairy, a hot fudge sundae, I don't know. There's not much that beats that taste. The hot, warm fudge with the cold vanilla ice cream. The sun or the moon? I definitely prefer the moon. The sun doesn't really change ever. The moon changes all the time. It's just so cool. We're actually, I don't know when I'm going to be posting this video, but we're actually getting ready to have a supermoon eclipse, I think on the 26th. So that will be really interesting to watch. But I definitely prefer the moon. I just think it's so pretty. It changes, you know, with a big, beautiful moon in the early morning hours is just so majestic to me. So I am going to do a part 2 of this video. If you're interested in that, let me know. I'll make sure to get that up pretty soon. If there's anything you want to add, do I prefer this or that? Put it down in the comments below. I will add it on to part 2 of this video. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you back for more videos.